When I was worked in television, I ran the documentary series and produced some documentaries. And it was during the Iraq War, and a lot of young people from Massachusetts were losing their lives in that war. And, they get a mention person, Private X died in Afghanistan or Iraq today, and here's the grieving mother making a comment. And we decided to profile in depth 9 of the fallen soldiers from Massachusetts. They were young men and women and fathers and mothers, and really had remarkable stories. And, I spent a year interviewing the families and telling their stories. So it was a series of 9 10-minute pieces. Um, and there is nothing you could say to, a parent, as you could imagine, who just lost their 23-year-old son, who one of them just had graduated from Dartmouth, this brilliant young man, um, except you give them the opportunity to tell their story and to put that story out there. And that means something to a lot of people facing these kind of losses. And why it was so special is we had a screening of the documentary at Northeastern University, and Senator Edward Kennedy came. And before the event, he met with we invited all the families who had lost, it was about 100 families at that point who had lost loved ones in the wars, and we invited them all to this screening. And he closed the press out, and spent an hour before the screening meeting with every family. And I was inside overhearing them, and he was talking about the loss of his own brother in the war and what his family had dealt with. And it was just so meaningful to those families to meet him and to accept condolences and acknowledgement from him. And then it did really well once we put it out there. So that was really a very gratifying moment when you feel like you've done something important for, we all needed to remember. It was, whatever we thought of the war, and many of those families thought the war was misguided and thought their children or husbands or wives died for no reason. So it was fraught. But um, the fact that we could have them memorialized this way forever for their children, for their families, was incredibly important and felt meaningful for me as a journalist.